variety of guests, and of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of On the Ball right here at WINN FM 98.9. I am Troy Bif Mills, your host, and tonight, I'm hoping that we're going to have a stinging program. We're going to be discussing West Indies cricket a little later on from about 7:30 or thereabout, and we're going to have three guests with us. John Maynard, he's an Division. He played for Nevis, he played for Leewards. He's now living and coaching in the US of A, a certified ECB coach. And we're going to be having two journalists and sports enthusiasts. Jermaine Abel, and he is with SKN Vibes, and a freelance journalist as well. And DJ Rankin, who operates on Sugar City FM. They're going to be joining us. Rankin will be in the studio with us, and the Flames, and John Maynard and Jermaine Abel, they will be dialing in. And boy, all kind of things happening. But let us start with a press release out of the St. Kitts and the Nevis Amateur Volleyball Association. It is dated today, Tuesday 29th July, and it is captioned, St. Kitts and the Nevis achieves historic finish at Nausicaa Continental Tour in Suriname. Zendai Richards and Elkreen Morton have secured St. Kitts and Nevis's highest ever finish on the Nausicaa Beach Volleyball Circuit, placing sixth at the recently concluded Suriname leg held in Paramaribo, that's in Suriname, from July 24th to July 26th. We have to say congratulations to those youngsters. That was very well done indeed. In a thrilling battle for fifth place, that is 1 and 2 would play, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. The St. Kitts and Nevis duo narrowly lost to Suriname's David Pinas and Kevin Sparksleg with close set encounters. The games go to 21 really, but you have to win by 2 clear points. So it was 22-22, 22-20, and 25-23. That second set, and it's the best of 3 sets. That set 25-23, that went a little way. This outstanding performance marks a significant milestone for the Federation's beach volleyball program. And they're really going ahead in leaps and bounds with beach volleyball. We have to keep an eye on them. The Suriname leg concluded with the U.S. team of brothers Trevor Crabb and Taylor Crabb emerging victorious. Well, Crabb on the sand, sorry for the pun. Defeated Mexico's Antonio Lares and Carlos Ayala in a hard-fought final 21-18 and 36-34. Wow, 36-34. That's a lot of volleyball, eh? Remember, you got to 21, however, you must win by 2 points. So you could win at least 2 points, sorry. You could win 21-19, 21-18, 21-zip. But once the person gets to 21-20, you now have to win 20-22. And then it's 23-24, you go again, 25-26, and you go up until you win by 2 points, 36-34. That's a lot of overtime. USA's other pair of Derek Carlos and Zephyr Dew also delivered strong performances throughout the event en route to claiming the 3rd place spot. So it's USA 1, Mexico 2, USA 3, I don't know who 4, and 5 was Suriname pair, 6 was St. Kitts and Nevis. Richard and Morton's success is testament to the growing presence of St. Kitts and Nevis on the international volleyball stage. The efforts were supported by the ongoing partnerships between the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee, SKNOC, and the St. Kitts and Nevis Amateur Volleyball Association's CAVA. Reaching this position, I quote, reaching this position is a huge motivator for us. We came very close to taking 5th place, and we were very proud of how we played against some of the best tennis teams, in the region, end quote, Richard said. The finish shows the progress, I quote, this finish shows the progress we've been making. We are determined to build on this result as we prepare for the next leg of the circuit, end quote, Morton said. According to Nauseka, the next leg of the Beach Volleyball Continental Tour will take place in Colima, Mexico at the end of August. And Nauseka is the organizing body for volleyball in North America, Central America, and the Caribbean. So that was actually good stuff for our local boys, St. Kitts and Nevis. I know El Queen, he plays drums with Okolo and Roy Richards. What's the name of his group? Spirit Drums. And he went to Carifesta in 2019 and 2017 and 2019. He went to 2017 to Barbados and 2019 to Trinidad and Tobago. I think his father is Elvis Morton, Elvis Grandash Village Cokes Morton. A short gentleman, he believes in a Grandash, he believes in the village. And I think that's his father, yes. So congratulations to them on behalf of the management, staff, board of directors of WINN FM 98.9. On behalf of yours truly, the sportscaster, as well as the host of On the Ball, which is heard every Tuesday night, 7 to 9 p.m. We say congratulations and wish them the best. It's not easy really winning those games and going so far up there. But we welcome them and we congratulate them and wish them the best. So where are we now? That was volleyball. While we have football We have football. We have basketball. We have so many sports things happening. And we also have sailing. A young lady, when I say young, I mean young, Skylar Connor. She is off to Singapore, and she is competing in the sailing championship there, representing St. Kitts and Nevis. And I think she's like, 14? And we have to say congratulations to her. 13-year-old Skylar Connor will represent St. Kitts and Nevis at the 2025 World Athletics Championship in Singapore. And this is indeed wonderful news. And we congratulate her and we wish her all the best and hope she really, at 14, she's going to be coming up against some big names. And we wish her all the best, of course, and hope she ends up on the podium. She has a lot of talent. She is going to be going places. And this is being held from 11th July to 3rd August in Singapore. And we wish her the best. And speaking of that, the president of the St. Kitts and Nevis Aquatic Federation, Mr. Eldon Thomas, he is, where is he, Turkey? I think he's Turkey, representing St. Kitts and Nevis in World Aquatic. They had the elections and he was representing St. Kitts and Nevis as the president of the St. Kitts and Nevis Aquatic Federation. And it's really important and necessary for our presidents, well, our national associations to be represented at these international meetings. Quite frankly, if you're not there, nobody is going to know you exist. Nobody know you're doing whatever. Whether it's table tennis, whether it's football, cricket. And we know football, they go to their FIFA summits, the CONCACAF summits every year. And CFU summits, I believe. And if we equate it with, say, table tennis, FIFA is the world governing body of football. The ITTF, International Table Tennis Federation, the world governing body of table tennis. And then FIFA is broken down into different continents. We have CONCACAF, we have UEFA, we have CAF, which is Africa, we have CONMEBOL, which is South America, we have Asia, and we also have Oceania. Well, Australia is no longer with Oceania. Australia is playing with Asia. But we have the Fiji Islands, the Marshall Islands, and who else? New Zealand, and those sort of countries. So that's the equivalent in table tennis to CONCACAF is ITTF Americas. So we have CONCACAF here, ITTF here, CONCACAF. For table tennis, we have ITTF Americas. And then from the CONCACAF, you have the USA, Bermuda, Mexico, and Canada. Though Mexico is in Central America, Mexico, they have been beating up everybody around there. So they asked for stiffer competition to be replaced in the USA zone. So the idea you have, what do they call it? The Central American zone, and you have the Caribbean zone, which is CFU. And for table tennis, we have the Caribbean Region Table Tennis Federation. I remember when I became the secretary of the St. Kitts and Nevis Table Tennis Association back in 2007, the first CRTTF meeting I went to, Caribbean Region Table Tennis Federation, I kept hearing about the name LATU, which meant the Latin American Table Tennis Union. But guess what? The CRTTF was a member of LATU. So I told them, guys, no man, that can't work, guys. This name, we got to work on changing this name. Because LATU is Latin America. We are not Latin America. So that name needs to change to reflect the Caribbean as part of the continental region. And that had been going on for years. And I suspect other persons before me had been trying to get that change. It was eventually changed to ITTF Americas, which is the continental body, North America, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. Similarly to CONCACAF, it's just that CONCACAF won't include South America. So congratulations to them. And again, it's important. And remember, we have 12 national associations affiliated to the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee. We have basketball, we have football, we have table tennis, we have tennis, which is lawn tennis, we have boxing, that's 5, we have taekwondo, 6, we have track and field, 7, which is St. Kitts and Nevis Athletics, we have netball, 8, we have, did I say taekwondo? Yes, we have swimming, 9, we have aquatics, 10, and who we have missing? We don't have judo, we don't have jiu-jitsu and those things. We don't have cycling, we don't have triathlon as yet. I think they're working on a triathlon in Nevis. Remember, we had Jane, a young lady, Jane, on the program. She and the treasurer of the group organizing St. Kitts and Nevis Triathlon Association, they're working on that. And recently we had the St. Kitts and Nevis Weight Lifting Association. They're trying to organize to become members of the international bodies, because you cannot become a member of the St. Kitts and Nevis Association Olympics Committee until you're a member of your national body. And we're heading up to 7:30. I somehow guessed somewhere around, I believe, and that is DJ Rankin. He will be live in studio. Jermaine Abel is off island, and John Maynard lives in England. So while we prepare for them, let us take a very short break, and come back and make sure everything is okay with them. want to know what's happening in sport? Tune into On the Ball, a weekly talk show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball. back to On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. And you guys must be abusing me, boy. I was so anxious to get into the program. I forget to wish those who are celebrating happy birthday today a happy birthday. Those who are celebrating anniversaries, happy anniversary. And those who got a new hairstyle, a new fingernail thingy, a baby, a new cap, a new dress, I don't know anything. Congratulations to you. And those who celebrated birthdays between last week, Wednesday, and yesterday, we say happy belated birthdays to you. And same thing with the anniversaries. Happy belated anniversary to you. And of course, those who are going through a period of bereavement, having lost someone. We know the late Terry Adams, an ardent listener of WINN FM 98.9, referee, former referee. He passed. He was buried on Friday, I think it was. And we say condolences again to his family. And he's going to be a tremendous loss. Regular program, calling to the program Voices, whatever radio station he called in. And he was all about that. We are still waiting for German Abel to join us on, he's going to join us on Google Meet. And we are waiting for him as well as John Maynard to join us as well. So they're going to be joining us shortly. And we already have DJ Rankin here with us in the studios, live and direct. We say good evening, DJ Rankin. Welcome to On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. It's the first time you've been here.
Yeah, man. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Yeah, well, it's my first time on your show. Not the first time on WINN FM, but yes, I'm happy to be here, nevertheless. You don't know the thing set. All right. Yeah, some persons might wonder, you know, about ranking over sports, boy.
Everybody asking me. So
you know, once you're in the media, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm telling you, you got to be versatile. You know, I mean, it's not just doing news or press conferences. You know, you got to follow sports as well. And I've been following sports since I'm a little boy. You know, I've played basketball, played some school cricket as well, you know what I mean? Track and field, did some of those as well. Believe it or not, I did a little bit of volleyball in Antigua, table tennis, you know what I mean?
Wow, yeah. I got to come up and play with my left hand and see what happens, Rankin.
You know, I mean, growing up, you gotta, and that's something, we need to get the kids more involved in different sporting activities, you know what I'm saying? Because it helps, it builds your character, and it you know, puts your mindset, you know, on a different light, whereby, you know, when you grow up, you see things differently. You're more responsible. You know, you're more respectable as well towards adults as well and so forth. So sports help a lot. You know, persons need to know that.
Definitely. Since I'm small, I'm hearing a healthy body makes a healthy mind. Mm-hmm. So that is something super. And where are you from originally? Rankin?
Yeah, I'm from Guyana. You know, born and raised, you know, grew up in Antigua before coming to St. Kitts. Yeah, I've been in St. Kitts for the past umpteen years now. I have 2 kids here, you know what I mean? Made a life here. Actually got married. I'm married now. I'm you know, there's the ring right there. I show you on Facebook Live so they can see it.
You can't leave that home.
I can't leave that home. No time.
When you reach
no
home.
time. You know, this is the symbol right here.
Oh, well, I'm divorced. So.
Oh, you see? Ah, boy, this is it right here to show, well, yo, you have the market now, you know. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But, yeah, I've made a comfortable life here, man, you know, regardless of what. Yeah, that's how it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's wonderful. And before we get into, and we're just still giving persons time, our guests time to join.
Yeah, no problem.
We're calling them to give the reminder, finding out if they're having any technical challenges. But football, boy, ranking football heating up here.
Yeah.
A matter of fact, in the first division, the top 2, Seal and Done. There's some matches to play still. But
who's the top 2?
The Eagles, they ended 15 victories, 1 drawn match, 2 losses. They ended with 46 points. Newtown, and they went down 2-3. They were relegated 2-3 years ago.
Right.
Last year, Newtown, Spurs,
right.
and Trafalgar South Stars. The 3 of them went down. But Newtown is back up. Newtown came second, winning 14, drawing 2, losing 2. They ended up with 44 points. Garden Hotspurs, they just missed out. And oh boy, I thought I had this on Forgive me.
Yeah, that's how it is sometimes, man.
I
Just
thought
like
I
that.
put these on.
Vibrate.
Yes. Sorry about that, folks. That was Joe Min.
Mm-hmm.
He said he was logged in, so we're going to sort out that. He's logged in, and I'm going to have my engineer work on that again.
Okay.
Just let me send him a message. Please try again.
Yeah. But in the meantime, I'm since I come St. Kitts, I'm back in Spurs, you know.
You back in Spurs?
Yeah, man, I'm Spurs man.
So no wonder y'all in him.
Yeah. It's okay. As Ice Pop would say, I gotta big up my boy Ice Pop. You know, anything green, we back in. You understand?
Okay.
So I'm a Spurs man. You know, even though I'm living up St. Peter's, you know what I'm saying? Yes, big up St. Peter's. You know, guys doing well. All right. That's how it is when you get one of the best coaches now.
From Spurs, a man from hardcore Spurs.
Exactly.
Talking about Dico.
Exactly. So, you know, it is expected, you know. He's an amazing coach, man. I got to big him up for that. Dico, big up yourself, man. You know, doing wonders with St. Peter's, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
He has been doing really wonders with them. They are in fifth, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Or thereabouts, so.
St. Peter's going to come right up, man. St. Peter's going to come right up. Don't worry about that. Troy.
Yeah,
yes,
so
I noticed. You know, you were traveling. You were traveling. Just recently, you came back from, what was it, Dubai or something?
Not Dubai, Qatar.
Qatar.
Yeah,
man. I saw you posting all those lovely breakfasts and lunch and.
If I was going down the road, I would have put on about 13 pounds.
I said, man, listen, when I grow up, I want to be like this man. You know what I'm saying?
It was a 1 week, went down Wednesday, left the Wednesday.
Right.
The ITTF, they had their summit.
Okay.
And then they had the annual general meeting and elections. And the president was voted in, and there are some concerns by some persons. So the losing candidate, he appealed to the Court of Arbitration for Sport for some resolution, and we haven't heard anything as yet about that.
Right.
So we got to wait and see. They didn't vote for the vice president, and just touching base with my producer, anything as yet from Jermaine.
Oh, he's no.
Yeah, he's trying to get in, and we're just trying to fix everything, make sure he's in. We've used the system before, so we know it works. And I don't know if he's under pressure right now, so he certain things he's supposed to be doing, he's not doing. I don't know. But, yeah, so it was interesting, boy. But the hotel, Mandarin, I can't remember the hotel, but they have Marriott's down there, they have Sheraton's. It's a posh place.
Wow.
So that we were at the hotel.
Yeah.
And, boy, the food, boy.
Yes, I mean, yeah.
I going down there and I go into a strange country, I going to eat the strange food.
Of course.
I ain't going to eat the chicken and...
Yeah. I always say that. Once you go to a different country, you have to experience the culture, man.
Of course.
You know, when tourists or people come to St. Kitts, I always tell them, I always try to encourage them, you know, try the local beers, try the foods. You know, you come in to eat the same thing we're accustomed to, you know what I'm saying? Chicken and chips and lasagna and them something, no, man. Get some goat water, some conchs and them thing there, man. Some cook up.
Some oil down and ackee and saltfish in Jamaica and things like that.
That is when you know you've had the real experience of the country, when you do that. You know?
I had ackee and saltfish. Years ago, I went to Jamaica, and I had ackee and saltfish for breakfast.
Yeah.
Breakfast, you know.
Breakfast.
I went to the Windward Islands, and I had dumpling and tanya and yam and dashing for breakfast.
Wow.
These guys crazy, boy. You can't eat this heavy food.
This is lunch.
But, in Trinidad, you got the breakfast shed. But to get back here to the football, Spurs just missed out. Spurs got one more match to play. They have 40 points. They could only reach 43. They're in fourth.
It's
Village Galaxy, which is South Stars, they have one more match to play as well, but they're way back off the pace. They were 34, they could only reach 37. So the top two being promoted, they're already determined. In the first division, boy, things tight like a vice strip in the middle, in the top, in the middle, and at the bottom. And security forces, well, I was looking for the song Abide With Me because they have already gone. Adios, amigos. Adios, security forces. See you maybe in 2 years' time, I don't know. They're on a record. They have 2 more matches to try and change the record. they haven't scored a goal yet in 16 matches.
Wow.
And they haven't got a point. They've lost all matches.
Wow.
So I don't know if they're going to get a point, but they're already gone. And Mantab, the other team in relegation zone, they have 8 points. But Sandy Point, they're lurking dangerously close.
Mm-hmm.
Sandy Point in 8th, Mantab in 9. Sandy Point on 11, Mantab on 8. And all Sandy Point had to do was beat Mantab a few days going on.
And that was it.
Mantab put a little beating on Sandy Point.
Oh boy.
Since Sandy Point playing first Premier Division football, since I was playing with them back in 85, we've never
you played football back in 85?
Yes, well, I used to try to think a goalkeeper and things like that, not because I'm that short, but they've never stayed up for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Went up, come down, went up, come down. And they're still in that danger this year.
Yeah.
And we're still... Let's take a short break.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a short break while we try to look at the technical situation for these gentlemen logging in. Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune into On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball. Welcome back to On the Ball here at 98.9. And of course, our numbers to call in 466-0989, 662-0989, and you can also call from overseas, whether you're in, hold on, let me get this thing together. What part of the world you are, from the UK you call 033-344-0065. In the USA, you call 718-285-6984. In Canada, you call 305-921-4619. And we have the second of two guests with us. We have Mr. German Abel. Good evening, German. How are you?
Hey, Biff. Good evening. Good evening to your listeners, and good evening to Ranking, who's in the studio with you.
Yeah, German, big up yourself, buddy.
And welcome to On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9. You're no stranger to WINN FM 98.9, but this is the first time I'm having you on the Ball.
Not, yeah, I believe so. I believe so. But before we jump into it, I have to just correct one thing. Well, two things. One, Ranking is, as he said, Newtown.
Spurs.
Or Spurs. Spurs, yeah. But we St. Peter's people, we got it. We got it. So I have to clear that up front there.
So you're St. Peter's man?
See that?
Well,
and I do apologize for my tardiness. I'm actually on the road at the moment, attending an event.
Well, that's it, man.
Okay, well, thank you for taking time out to be with us. Our third guest, John Maynard, a coach living in England, a cricket coach, and he's very passionate about West Indies cricket, Nevis cricket, Leeward's cricket, and he's from Nevis. He played for the Leeward Islands, played for Nevis, obviously, but in England it's 5 hours ahead, so it's like minutes to one, or thereabouts. So I'm hoping that we'll get him up. We're trying to get him. We don't know if he's having any issues with the link. We haven't seen him, but we're hoping that he'll be able to join the discussion. Thank you very much again, DJ Rankin. Thank you, Jermaine, for joining us. When the West Indies cricket, it is said that you only watch West Indies cricket if you're fit. You don't suffer from high blood pressure. If you're going to watch a game, you go doctor before, and then give you the pass to say, hey, yes, you're fit to watch the game. And we've been getting some pounding, especially from England. A lot of pounding. We've gotten five straight, a whitewash in the T20 recently held. We got 3 straight, a whitewash in the test. They say things so tough, West Indies can't even win a toss.
It's true. It's true.
West Indies lost the last 8 tosses they had here. 3 tests and 5 T20 international.
Wow.
And they lost all. So not even a toss. That's how bad things are. Not even a toss. They could win. And the question is, what do we believe is the problem? What are the things contributing to the cricket West Indies not being the powerhouse we used to, but maybe not necessarily not being close to the powerhouse we used to. Maybe if we were not the powerhouse, but close enough to it. Yeah. And well, where did it start going wrong, and when you think?
Jeremy, you want to chime in first, or you want me to go?
Seeing that I can jump in.
Yeah, see that you're on the road.
There's no one problem, guys, that's wrong with West Indies cricket. I know at this juncture we are blaming the cricket board for the downfall of West Indies cricket. West Indies cricket is a multiplicity of problems. One, yes, the structure of the board has to take some level of responsibility regarding the state in which West Indies cricket's at this point. But then you also have to blame the players as well. And we like to compare this generation to yesteryear, where we had the likes of Viv Richards and all of them in the glory days. But the issue with the glory days and now is that a lot of people they took pride in representing West Indies. You're not necessarily getting that from all of the players in the current crop. That's two. The issue under that is, and somebody alluded to this, I think probably one of the pundits or so, West Indies, the players right now who are representing West Indies are using the maroon as a launching pad into going for the broader dollars in terms of the T20
Yeah, that was Brian Lara.
franchises across the world. So
Yeah,
you're
Brian
no
Lara said that.
longer sitting down and developing yourself to play and take pride in representing West Indies cricket. But you cannot just blame the players for choosing that road in which to go down. Because let us be frank, if I can make $500,000 or even $50,000, um, that is roughly 100,000 EC dollars. And let's just talk about EC, right? That's a little over 100,000 EC dollars.
135,000, yeah?
How many? Oh,
135,000 easy.
there you go. How many people ordinarily who play sports in the Caribbean make $100,000 in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even 6 weeks for some of the leagues like the IPL, right? Some of these people don't even make this in an entire year. So you tend to put your family first. The issue is we're not getting the proper injection into the sport in terms of the dollars and cents. But then that also comes back to the fact that not a lot of private sector businesses want to inject money into West Indies cricket. Yes, they got the gaming company to come on board to pump over I think a 10-year period something over 100 or almost $1 billion, and you have the figure correct. But the issues impacting West Indies cricket are so many. It even comes down to the selectors. They put a new selection process in place. You're asking yourself, and Sammy alluded to this, and he was dragged over the coals for it. Why are you selecting players who are averaging 20 when international cricket standards now is probably 50 in the longer version of the game? West Indies problem is we have a style, a brand of cricket that we play that is we're trying to transition into the test arena without properly transitioning it to the test arena, and that's the T20 form. Yes, the baseball that England style that England plays, that suits them, but they have the temperament in order. So if you come 5 wickets down, the next two batters that come in will seek to bat you for the rest of the week. West Indies do not have that mindset in terms of batting for long hours. It's so to answer the question, there's no one problem, but it's a multitude of issues that we have to take into consideration when we're discussing the issues plaguing West Indies cricket right now.
All right. Well, you said a lot of things there, Jermaine, and you also mentioned about you used the term "glory days," which is back in the days of the Sir Vivian and
80s,
Clyde and so
90s.
80s, 90s, right? And you were right with what you said. Those guys play for pride because there weren't no T20 leagues or other super leagues where they could have made extra money. So they had no choice but to secure the glory that was given upon them, the chance to represent West Indies, right? Secondly, the question as Troy put, where you think we're going wrong or where you think we went wrong. Well, I can tell you this straight up. This is where I know we went wrong. When Bravo and those guys boycott that series,
India.
India, I said this right here is a downfall for West Indies because it's all about money. I can understand you need more money, right? But if you're not performing, how could you want more money? You know what I'm saying? If you're not performing, I mean, if you're performing and you want more money, I can understand, which means you win in series, you win in matches, because we in the West Indies known to be winners. We don't mind soaking up a loss or two, but we come from a trend of winning series. Teams were afraid of us, right? We still have that mindset. We still have that killer instinct in terms of the bowlers and the batting, right? But if you're not performing, you should not be asking for any more money, right? Because when you look at it, at that time, cricket were already on the decline. You know, I mean, I was still watching cricket, but it's like after you keep losing, people start losing interest. And if people start losing interest, business places, companies going to lose interest as well. All that German,
Sponsors, yes.
right, all the German just mentioned. So it all boils down to the players. Now, fast forward to the T20 franchises, which Brian Lara said that the West Indies players are using the West Indies as a stepping stone to get contracts. Now, yes, that is a fact, but you know, Troy and German, if you have a T franchise team, right, and I'm a player for West Indies, and I'm averaging 5 runs, would you select me?
Not at all.
Exactly. You have to perform, right? So they're hurting themselves in the process of trying to secure those contracts as well. Because if you're gonna get bowled out for 27 days, nobody looking on none of them players on that team there. I guarantee you that. You know what I'm saying? The bowlers did really well. So if you say the bowlers might look at the bowlers to say, all right, I could choose one or two of you, but you have to perform. Every sport you have to perform in order for people to look at you. If you don't perform, well then you're just making yourself look bad, and you're making your country and your team look bad.
But the thing, right, ranking, just interject a little, because you're making a valid point there. But the idea and what I'm getting and concluding, and this is the only thing people can assume about West Indies cricket at this point, is it's two things. One, they either don't care, or they're just happy with the state that they're in. You're being selected, and losing just becomes a habit. You turn up at the office, you're not really interested in working. You just
No, that's pretty much the guys them don't care.
You get out.
Jeremy, that's pretty much they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Whatever money they get in from the West Indies, they accept it, because a lot of them on the squad, on the team, already have contracts with big T20 franchises. So they don't care. You know what I'm saying? I think it was okay. For example, that 27 embarrassment. The West Indies Cricket Board, that was the first time I ever see the board call an emergency meeting with some of the legends. Now, to try to see how best they can fix the situation. But, I mean, it is what it is. It's an embarrassing situation. We guys just got to move on from it. Also, I think, I'm not sure who said it, but somebody posted, and I think that person made proper sense. The smaller islands are not being represented in West Indies cricket anymore, and they're being overlooked. You understand? And it's a fact, and that in itself, I think Courtney Watch was the man that says it. Courtney Watch, imagine a Jamaican who's from one of the big islands, right? Where we always say, the big islands, them is who does get the first preference. Courtney Watch could come and say, we are overlooking the smaller islands and the talent that they have. You know what I'm saying? And it's a fact.
Obviously, guys, there are a few things that contribute, like Abel says, not one factor, and quite a few. Now, let's start with the last one, overlooking the small islands, insularity. That has been alive and well. Perhaps it has taken a little lull for the time being, because I remember when Mikael Louis was in form year before last, the question was if he would be selected, because he's from St. Kitts and Nevis.
Right.
He eventually was, because he was top
He was outstanding.
But then at the same time, his brother,
right,
Jerry,
right,
who has been in the top 3 taking wickets in regional tournament for 3, 4, 5 years, and couldn't find a spot in the team. He eventually went to England last year, January,
right.
And he didn't play a game. And by the time he came back, he was out of the squad.
See that?
Age is not on his side, really. He's getting a little older.
Right.
But the insularity, and I think it came to several times with the Spice Man, Fletcher.
Right.
Persons wonder how he came in, and he was brought into a West Indies squad, and he walked right straight into the 11.
Right.
While other persons were there in the squad. Now, I don't believe in the philosophy, I am here longer than you, so I should get promoted ahead of you. I don't believe in that.
Right.
That was in the 60s and the 70s, before you and Abel Mother Mitchell father, right, Joe? But when
And
something
even the grandparents.
okay, so when there's that happen, but then you have to question insularity now. When two Winwood Islanders, Kavem Hodge and Alec Athanaze, who were left out of the whole Australian tour here
Right,
happening,
right.
and after credible performances in Pakistan, whether you say nobody performed or the performances weren't high, at least they sort of held their own
Right.
very tough
Right.
conditions. But for them to be dropped to this for this Australian team, nobody seems to understand why. I don't remember if Sammy would have gave some justification.
Right.
Just to interject there, Biff. I think his suggestion was that's where this whole discussion surrounding the average actually came into play, because I think he was alluding to the fact that I think it was either Kavim or the other guy actually was only averaging about 25 or something like that, 25.25 in regional cricket or international cricket. Right. I think that was his justification, and I stand to be corrected, but he was alluding to it there. I think what you're saying there also goes to the fact that what we have in West Indies cricket, and I don't just mean the board level, but in the team level, we continue to back people who have a name, who got names in the team. So, for example, if let's look on the merit of selecting players for West Indies team, especially the Test arena. If you're using the yardstick of the regional 4-day tournament, which I really got a serious problem with, because 4-day cricket cannot be limited to 5, 6, 7 rounds.
Exactly,
you have
right.
to consistently play cricket. But that's for another discussion. But if you're using the regional 4-day competition as a yardstick for selection into the West Indies Test team, then you have people like Tevin Imlach, and his name is slipping me, the other one from Guyana, who you selected, but you did not play because they were some of the top runs getter in the last season. Mikhail Louis got into the team because he was consistent during that season when he made his debut for West Indies. But if you're going to select them and just have them sitting on the wayside when you have somebody who consistently is failing, and I'm going to name names, a name, you have Craig Brathwaite, who has been struggling for a long time, then it begs the question, what is happening with the captain and the leadership of the West Indies team on the day itself? Because Craig played the first 2 test matches, and
Correct.
he again struggled. But then you decided to replace him after 4 failed innings in the third and final test after you lost the series. I'm sometimes I don't get the logic, and this is why, yes, the small island mentality thing might also be an issue, but I think it's the selection in the team itself by the captains that leaves a lot to wonder. The problem I have with small islands, why small islands continue to struggle, especially St. Kitts. I mean, Mikhail Louis and his brother Jeremiah, and others have really laid a foundation for themselves to get to the point where they're at. And that is coming through the fact that there's not a lot of cricket that is being played in many of the small islands, right? What do we do consistently in St. Kitts and Nevis? At this point, let's be frank, we play a lot of junior cricket, Republic Bank and the others sponsor. But how often do we actually have high-level cricket playing within the small islands to give these guys more of an opportunity to launch themselves into regional cricket? And this is, for me,
So you're referring to you're
significant
referring to that you would want to see more club cricket then? That's what you say, more club cricket.
Precisely. Let's be frank, ranking.
Yeah.
And Biff, and I know Biff, you follow cricket a lot in St. Kitts. How consistently is cricket being played? I mean, there's probably like 2 or 3 major tournaments in St. Kitts and Nevis for this year alone. That's not something that can significantly lift the skill set, mindset, and temperament of players in St. Kitts and Nevis to go and play 4-day cricket. Let's be frank, that is where the problem comes, because your technique, and I mean, as much as we all complain about Chandapal, he was very boring to watch. But his temperament is what West Indies is lacking right now
Of
in
course.
4-day and 5-day cricket.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's he likes batting.
Right.
I don't know if we have that. And you mentioned we touched on the insularity element. My uncle, the late Andrew Weeks, he said way back when, since in the 80s, he said when Sandy Point cricket is strong, St. Kitts cricket is strong. When St. Kitts cricket is strong, Leeward's cricket is strong. When Leeward's cricket is strong, West Indies cricket is strong. I thought he was being a little insular because he really loves Sandy Point. But when I looked at it, St. Kitts was dominating when they were like 6 Sandy Pointers in the team. Leewards were dominating when they were like 6 Sandy Pointers in the Leewards team.
Yeah, but not really cutting you off there, but then when you mention Leewards, right, the one country or island that is more recognized is Antigua.
But there was a point, I was coming to that. When Leeward's cricket was strong, when West Indies cricket was strong, we had 6 Leeward Islanders in the West Indies team, notwithstanding they were from Antigua.
Right.
And since they're out, we're talking Vivi Richards, Eldine Baptiste,
Ridley Jacobs,
Courtney
Ambrose, all those guys.
Dave Joseph,
Yeah.
the other Joseph, and things like that. Since they're Richie Richardson, since they're out, it has taken, well, a downward plight.
Of course.
That's West Indies cricket.
Of course.
So that coupled with the fact, the mentality of the youngsters. You mentioned Abel, was it you? The Shanda Paul, the mentality of Shanda Paul.
German, yeah.
And I watch Shanda Paul and I see singles, but if Shanda Paul has a doubt about a single, he's not going to run.
He's not going to run, right.
Once he has a doubt, when I say, you had good boy, that's an easy single. But if he doesn't believe it's a single, he's not going to take that
because
risk,
you have the patience.
that chance. Exactly. But the temperament, game awareness, perhaps it goes back to a statement Darren Sammy said a couple of years ago. We are a boundary hitting team. And somewhere along the line, that seemed to have sunk into all the younger players and everybody going woof.
And all the formats, right.
In all the formats.
But you see, just interject a little bit, and I'll be quick. It goes back to a problem that's plaguing the Caribbean in general. We are people who do not like to resolve, and I'm more referencing the younger people. We are people who would not want to sit down and resolve a problem. If I have a problem with Biff, I prefer to just knock Biff down the road rather than come and have a dialogue with Biff. You may say, what does that have to do with cricket? It has to do with cricket because a lot of the younger players that are coming through the ranks right now, they're not sitting down to analyze stuff. So if you come in and you need 6 runs from 2 balls, right, or 18 runs from 6 balls, the first thing they're going to do is look to hit a 6. Right. Why not seek to break down the game? Okay, if I can get 1 boundary off of this ball, we still in the game, that sort of thing. So it's analyzing. We are quick to run to the point of this is an issue. This is an issue. And I'm getting that quick to judgment rather than laying a path or laying something down is what is West Indies' downfall with a lot of the young players. Chanderpaul is going to, I think the game when he hit, it was against Sri Lanka, the last ball 6 in Trinidad, right? It calls for patience, right? We've been seeing in international cricket at this point, a lot of the number 8s, number 9s, number 10s, number 11 batters actually playing proper cricket and making runs.
That's true.
But we're not getting that from West Indies cricketers because we're quick to run to judgments and quick to go, okay, we need to hit 10 boundaries in the game rather than playing actual cricketing strokes.
Well, as Troy mentioned, the big question is, pretty much is like, what should be the solution towards, fixing the problem, right? And this is my take on a solution. One, and I think it's Clive Lloyd said it because, as I mentioned, the West Indies Cricket Board at a meeting, you got to go back to the fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? You got to, you know, right from the schools to clubs and give everybody a fair, you know, chance to represent West Indies. Otherwise, it's going to be chaos, right? Secondly, these guys, you need to put them in the net and let them just play a front foot stroke. Just try a button pad for 1 hour straight because you got to install the patience in them now. You understand? Because the mentality that they have, as we all mentioned, is the big hitting, 4s and 6. Make a quick set of runs because look at that Maya last night. You just hit a 4, 52. The next ball, I know it's T20, yes, but come on, you know what I'm saying? Be more, you know, like, yeah, use your mind in the game, right? So they have to, like, install that in them all over again. Say, hey, you're going in the nets, and I don't want to see no big shot. I just want to see, you know, you defend this wicket. You're defending this wicket for 1 hour straight. You understand? Install it in them. Let it get tired. Let it get tired of playing one shot.
And let them do it as a job ranking rather than as a side hustle.
Well, of course, because they're getting paid for it. So which means if you instruct them to do it, they have to do it because they're getting paid for it, first and foremost. You know, and I think, you know, stiffer penalties should come about in terms of you know, pain. I mean, some persons don't want to admit it, but for me, but you would get paid based upon your performance, you know. So if you know, say, you know, you're coming here to not perform, well then, you know, too bad for you. You know what I'm saying? Too bad for you because other people out there, you know, need a chance and they're looking for the chance because, as we mentioned with the smaller islands, many times it is a way whereby, you know, you're not motivated because for a youngster, you'll look at it, boy, yeah, for a youngster, you're going to look at it as, boy, the bigger islands are always getting overlooked. So why am I wasting my time, you know, trying to, you know, play cricket?
Okay, Tom, hold a second, Franklin and gentlemen. We have a phone call. Good evening, caller. Welcome to On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Good, man.
I'm blessed, highly favored, giving thanks. What about you?
Yes, I'm very well, thanks. Very well, thanks. I was listening with interest to the live guest you have there.
Thank you very much.
I think it's been an excellent job so far from what I've heard. I just thought I'd take a few minutes just to raise a point or issue that I haven't heard. Maybe I've said it, but I wasn't listening. But concerning one of the major problems, I believe, is a major factor to West Indies cricket. Everybody's talking, from what I've heard, to club cricket and the players' mistakes. The players not performing. And because they're not performing, they should not be paid. I think I heard that coming true.
Correct.
But I haven't heard anybody saying what programs are being given by West Indies Cricket Board, regional territories, or the local cricket association to help develop the talent, the mindset, the resilience for our young players to advance, to play for their cricket. I believe that is what you're not been hearing over the past 20 years. And I believe that this is something that we need to really inculcate by having collaboration and having holistic programs developed in the schools. I've been saying this all the time, and I'll be repeating it over and over. If we don't have the youngsters playing competitively, school is off now.
Please cut down. Your radio, cut down the volume. Or your computer.
Oh, yeah. To come to that. That might be better.
Yes, yes.
That's better?
That's a lot better, thanks.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that I believe that it'll be useful if we can get together and put for the local, regional, territorial bodies and local associations to put together a holistic standard work to the region. A program that goes 3 to 5 years from preschool all the way to on the 13s, on the 15s, on the 19s, where we can have sustainable programs for the youngsters to develop that resilience in batting, for example, that resilience of disciplinary, that resilience for fitness, that resilience for nutrition. I believe we need a holistic program rather than we just blame the guys who want to go out and play T20 cricket. As you would realize as well, cricket only have a lifespan of 15 years if you're good. The average is 10. So when a guy gets in there and with 20, 23, 24 years old, he's playing for a game. By the time he reaches 30, 35, he's an old man. So we have to look at it. They have to make enough money to sustain them for that period of time, because the West Indies cricket is not paid as much as it was 5 teams around the world. We don't have any proper benefit for the hour. Look at the legends. Look at how many players over the years has fallen to the back, and none of them really making money. It's only after they start to play the short version of the game they start to make money. None of the players come from this colonial system where the people who administer cricket don't play cricket. Just like in boxing, the manager, the boxer don't play that. They never box yet, but they're making all the money. And that is some of the things that we have to do.
Caller, step away from the radio, please, again. We're getting a feedback.
Huh? You getting a feedback?
Yeah, we just got a feedback.
Maybe because I'm moving around, sorry. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that I believe that these things are important.
We have the feedback again, caller.
Well, I'm in one area here. I think that's from your end.
That's good now.
Perhaps you could turn off the radio, and when you finish speaking, you turn it back up.
Yeah, I don't have on any radio. I mean, I'm in an area far from the television.
Okay.
I don't have on the radio.
Yeah, you good now.
Okay, continue.
Some song in the background. Is that better?
Yeah.
Any better where I'm at?
Yes, sir, thanks.
I'll try to stay right here. Yeah, all I'm saying is that I don't want to belabor it, because I guess other folks want to call it. I don't want to really raise the point for us to look at it differently, and for us to really focus on a 3 to 5 year holistic plan regionally, and each territory, each association must have a report. They must have a matrix. They must be able to report on each player, how they're dancing, what they're doing. Just don't put money in the territory or put money in the association and they don't have any accountability. They must be able to say what you do with the money. These are the issues that I think is the ordinary family don't hear much people talk about. We must develop a program, gentlemen. Bear with me. Preschool, primary school, secondary school, under 13, under 15, and beyond. And it must be a holistic program.
It's going to be very costly.
Can I ask you 2 questions, caller?
Yes.
One, what do you think about the selection model we now have in place, where the coach is the chief cook and bottle washer?
Yeah, Sammy have that power.
And 2, you've lost 4 matches. You have a youngster, 18-year-old Joel Andrew in this side. You're playing your 5th match. Nobody is really coming through, per se. Well, yes, we know the 2 openers, Shea Hope and King. Do you think that he ought to have been given a game in the last match last night?
Well, I'll answer Andrew question last. Let me go with the first one. I don't prescribe to any one man to be chief cook and bottle washer. I believe in an organization, you need a team. You need to have a group of persons in their respective areas of strength to be part of the selection committee. Right down to even the administration of your organization. I believe we need to hear from everybody. And everybody must give a reason why this person should be selected or not selected. Gone are the days where each island or country, in Leeward for an example, used to come with a slave. You come from Antigua, you come with a slave. I come from Nevis, St. Kitts, I come with a slave. I believe that we need to give some support information as to the reason why you pick this opening back or that bowler, other than the statistic. This statistic is critical, but you have to get a report from his respective territory or country association. You need to get how do these guys operate with other team members, team morale. Does he listen? Does he follow rules? Is he a key man? All of those things add up to the reason why you pick the player. It's not just because he's the best back by statistics or the best bowler by statistics. And that is where a lot of our members or general public fail to understand. And that must be published. The criteria is what I'm talking about. The criteria must be published by the respective selection committee or association that the players will know and the public will know. This is not a hidden document. So everybody will know why you get selected. Nobody don't know. You don't know what criteria is being given by the selection by Sammy. Or you got Sammy doing everything.
Another thing, Carla, as you mentioned, criteria, etc. With the selection panel, they've introduced scouts. There are scouts within the Leewards, Windwards, all the units. For example, Shane Jeffers. I think there are two levels of scouts. Sam Spencer from Antigua and Barbuda, he's at a higher level. Shane Jeffers is at a lower level. However, they are scouts, so they look at games, they come to the games, the regional on the 19 championship we just had here, Samuel Spencer. He was at St. Paul's for most of the games.
Yes,
so
I met him. I spoke with him, yes.
They make their notes, they give their feedback. Hey, from the Antigua, from the USA, well, not the USA one team, from the Barbados team, I think this is good because you're right. I might make 100, but I had 23 chances. And you might have made 40, 45. I'm blemished. And again, ranking is a bowler. You're going to hear ranking 10 overs, no wicket for 75 runs. But they put down 4 catches off a ranking. The scorebook won't tell you that. So you have to be there to say, well, I know this guy bowled well now, not because he's 75. 4 of those should have been catches, and the player pushed them over the boundary, so right away. That 75 includes 24 runs.
Right.
So that is a good thing they've done, but I'm not a fan of the Sammy has the final decision thing. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, well, I think that's recently they installed that power on Sammy because because the coaches never had that power.
I don't think so. I think it needs to be
We agree on that. We agree on the Sammy and the things. I believe we could just move on to the areas where there's still some great areas. For an example, you're talking about if Andrew should be selected.
Last night.
In the last game, right? Well, I don't want to say he should or should not be selected. Because I don't believe I'm in a position where I can really make that judgment, frankly speaking, right? But I always encourage for us to have youth, younger players getting earlier exposure to higher level of cricket. I believe that is how we become better. However, you must be able to have the fundamentals, gentlemen. If we don't play 4-day, 2-day cricket, when you're 8, 9, 10, 11, when a man reaches 18 and 19 and 20, you're not going to tell him play 4-day cricket when the man of course is playing T20 all the time.
That's true.
That is what we're missing.
That's true.
I am saying that the youngsters must get the techniques. If you look at England and Australia, those youngsters done the school cricket and all that stuff over there, they're playing a whole lot of cricket.
Yeah, there's a lot of cricket academies. Yeah.
And that's what we're missing. I'm saying that we need to have a program where, especially when school is off and even after school programs, we need to have tournaments East Zone, primary and secondary school, Central Zone, and West Zone, and ongoing. So the kids will know we're playing cricket almost all year round.
Right.
We need to be able to give some encouragement to them. When we have the T20 coming down and the Russells and the Gale and whoever it is coming down there that as professionals, we should be able to have a 2-hour camp.
All right,
for them to see the primary school and the secondary school kids performing in a 2-hour camp before the CPL starts.
All right, let me ask you something before we go any further. You mentioned earlier, right, that players, the money is a problem. You mentioned that. You honestly believe that the players them should be paid more money, right?
No, I'm not saying they should be paid more money just for that. I am saying that the overall Cricket West Indies board, they should look at the benefits of the players within the region.
Right.
In comparing them with the 5 other international international teams. What benefits they have that we could tweet or we could adopt for our players in
Okay.
the Caribbean
All
to
right.
keep them here.
Okay, good.
To
No,
keep them here.
I understand that. I understand. The reason why I asked you that, right, is because, and you mentioned the five top teams, which I agree. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, we have to be on the same level as the five top teams, right, in order to receive whatever compensation in terms of monetary that they're receiving or whatever can be tweaked. And again, it boils down to performance. If you do not perform for your fans, for your home, for your territory, how can you say or come to us to say, okay, these five top countries are getting this, tweak this a little bit? You know what I'm saying? No. You got to perform. You have to show us that you're worthy, that you're deserving of it.
I agree with you 100%. But the performance comes from the overall training program that is being put out for you, along with your initiative. You must be able, for an example, in England, they give you a contract and you got to come home for the games. You can't say, well, you're playing down there and you come when you want.
India.
You're ranking, right?
Right.
Performance is key. But the performance comes from what is offered to you within the region and locally.
Caller, can we hold a second? There's another colleague who is being extremely quiet. We need to bring him in the conversation. German.
Okay, so I take the caller's points, right? But you see, as I said earlier and I alluded to, it's that for me, the underlying problem that we're facing with West Indies cricket is, yes, all of this is really good. We're highlighting the problems. But even if we want to roll out a 3, 4, 5 year strategy, we have to get the money to do it. There's always been this talk that the revenues from the international game is not necessarily being paid out in an equitable manner, and that's understandable. But again, sponsors are not going to come on board unless we see proper cricketing structure. The issue is, regardless of whether or not Cricket West Indies decide to allocate $10 million to each territory for cricket development, where they're going to get the money from to do that? Because I haven't looked at the finances, but the way in which West Indies cricket is structured, we are a lot of islands that come under one. So geographically, everything is going to be a challenge. Everything's going to be expensive. That's why regional cricket sometimes is so expensive to put on. We need individual territories and their boards to do a little bit more to craft a structure that will enhance the individual territories. Because from the last press conference that the last one I think Sammy had and the Cricket West Indies and all the executives had, they put a system in place where I think each territory has a, want of a better word, a scout, a talent identifier.
Correct.
Who will then find these people and put forward their names to the selection panel. And based on that, Sammy and the others will then gauge whomever it is, their talent, their averages. Do you think this person is suitable to play for West Indies cricket? But before they get there, the board itself has to go and try to organize competitions, because we cannot keep depending on Cricket West Indies, the executive board, to know that Mr. Abel got a 2-year rule and he's batting like Brian Lara or Sachin Tendulkar, unless the talent is unearthed when you have those resources. From that level, then I can go and argue and make the case that, we got a little boy somewhere in the hills of St. Peter's who is really, really good. I mean, look at what's his name, for example. Shamar Joseph came from some village that even the people in Guyana don't even know about, but he made the team and he grabbed onto it. The bottom line for me here, and the point I'm trying to get is, while money is a problem, we have to get these boards and players to understand that it's incumbent upon us to want to make the West Indies team, and we have to make sacrifices. And even though we roll out, the private sector has to come on board to play. has a
Yeah,
role
next
to
call.
play in ensuring that cricket gets back to the level where it's at. Republic Bank is paying its part with all of these fancy tournaments for the youngsters, but we need from the from when you reach 13, with that period between 13 and the peak age to play for West Indies or a regional side to get that transition. And I don't believe boards themselves are actually communicating because Guyana
Okay,
has a good
John,
structure,
in the
Barbados has a
time,
good
can we
structure,
just jump in?
Trinidad has
Sorry
a
to
good
interrupt
structure,
you. I
Jamaica
just
has
want
a
to
good
make 2 points and I'll
structure,
get off the phone,
but
right?
these are not necessarily being transitioned across all the territories.
Yeah, I just want to make 2 points quickly and get off the phone
Yes,
because,
thank you,
I'm
caller.
on my cell phone. The 2 quick points I want to make. You raised a very excellent point about funds and money. And I will add transparency and accountability. Those 4 factors, if you like, are key components. And I'll give you one example. If you're going to the bank for a loan, the bank wants to know what your credit history is like. The bank wants to know if you're eligible to get a loan. If the Cricket Association going to a corporate body with incentives or any other territory, and they don't have a financial statement that has been approved or can show over the past 3, 4, 5 years, this is what your finance is like. How do you expect my corporation to invest? How do you expect my corporation to come to you and invest? If you're going for a loan, you're putting a proposal together. You can't go and say, and look, Mr. Banker or Mr. Corporate entity, we have in a tournament for under 13s. It costs $50,000. We don't have any money. Could you sponsor it? I mean, you got to be realistic. You must be able to say, Mr. Banker, Mr. Corporate, the tournament costs $50,000. We got 10, and we raising funds. So they could have some consideration. You don't go with your own and open and say, hey, sponsor this thing 100%. This is the business acumen, the business aspect of raising funds is required or are required. And this is what is missing. You've raised some excellent points. I mean, I could talk on this all night. Because
Yes,
that is
caller,
the
but
problem we've been having
we
for
don't
years.
have that privilege. I appreciate
know,
you're very
I know.
passionate. But
And that is the order and fund that need to be discussed. We need to be able to have transparency and accountability of what has been going on within our local association and beyond. If West Indies giving you $10,000, well, tell us how you spend it. What is the metrics? What have you got for that?
okay, what I could tell you, caller,
benefited.
it is our intention to discuss Leeward's cricket and the local cricket, St. Kitts cricket in another forum. Yes.
Well, I just bring that up because I raised it.
Yes.
No,
Okay.
that was raised. So just
We thank you very much. We appreciate it, and you've given us a lot of food for thought, and
Right.
we really appreciate it. Thanks for calling into the program.
No problem
Okay, we
at
have
all.
a caller.
Anytime.
Can we get to the next caller, please? Good evening, caller. Welcome to On the Ball here at WINN FM 98.9.
Yeah, hello?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening to you, gentlemen, man.
Thank
Good
you very
evening.
much.
Good evening. Yeah.
The other caller is still on?
No, he left.
Yeah, great contributions by him, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, he made some great contributions. I want to agree with a lot of what he said and to give him some support. You know, my name is Burl Jones, and I'm from Cotton Ground Village in Nevis. I'm residing in the USA currently. Migrated out to Nevis in 1985. And I was part of a league in primary school, St. Thomas's Primary School, Lowland, right between Cotton Ground and Jessups,
Okay, sir. So
on the island of Nevis.
you're a cricketer.
My birth, definitely, from day one.
Okay, sir.
I'm actually from a cricket family, the Sergeants,
Okay.
out of Cotton Ground,
Yep.
Livingston Sergeant, Everett Sergeant. I have a cousin named Lofton Sergeant, and I'm going to go into a brief quick history. Him and Livingston, Lofton Sergeant was 10 years old on Christina. Livingston was on Christina as well, and God spared their lives for a reason.
Wow.
So, Lofton Sergeant, you guys may not know a lot about him. He's left-handed, and he's out in the Maryland region. So let me repeat the cricketers in my family. Livingston, my uncle. We have Everett, my cousin. We have Earl Sargent, an extended cousin. We have Lofton, my brother Dermot Jones, and myself. And I had an older brother, Derval Jones, that died back in, I think, 1998. He passed away.
Okay.
And he was a cricketer similar to Livingston Sargent. These guys are what we call stroke players. And we got to get back to the fundamentals. And I'm going to tell you, when I was 11 years old, El Camino Willett organized a 3-team league, elementary school, lowland school, where I was the captain, boys school, where Strat Williams was the captain, and over at Prospect Elementary School, I think there was a guy named Adrian was the captain of the team, and he had Mark Brantley as a spin bowler on that team. And, you know, we went into Charlestown on the CSS ground to play against Strat Williams and boys school, and I had Stuart where he popped the ball straight into Frank Munzak's hand right in front of the bat, sealing it off right in front of the bat. Because of the fact that this was our first exposure to hardball, guess what? My fielder, Frank Munzak, dropped the catch.
Oh, boy.
Scott Williams came casually forward, bam, popped the ball straight into Frank's lap. Right there, Frank dropped the catch. And I'm going to tell you, right there, we lost the game to Strat Williams.
Wow.
When I went up against Prospect, I had to take a small revenge on them. I picked 50 not out. And Strat came not out against Boys School, and they win us. And that was it, man. But that league, what El Camino Willett organized between those three schools, we got to get that back. Because I'm going to tell you, right after that, 1 or 2 years after that, few years after that, I left Nevis in 1985. When I migrated out of Nevis, it wasn't shocking. But I'm going to tell you, if I stayed in Nevis would have had 2 picks when Strat Williams made Nevis West Indies team. It would have been me and Strat Williams going off to West Indies.
Okay. But what are your thoughts on the West Indies team?
We got to come back with the fundamentals, man.
So you're suggesting grassroots cricket, proper structures.
Yes. We got to get that back in the schools.
Before you continue, I must apologize for Abel. He had to leave. He had indicated that previously.
No problem.
And he has left us. So one of our panelists has left, and we thank him, Abel, for being with us. Please be safe. You're touching an area that I have noted.
The gentleman that's up in England, is there any way you can say a little bit more about him? I'm wondering who he is. I heard you say he was from Nevis.
John Maynard, yes. They used to call him the dentist because
Oh, okay, wow.
I think he did some extractions on somebody with the ball. He was pretty quick.
So I guess he was like a place bowler there.
Yes, he was. He was opening bowler for Nevis and the Leeward Islands. And he was pretty quick in his time. He's now a certified
I wonder which
coach.
era he played in. Which of the guys from Nevis, in terms of the elders, which group of elders that he played with?
I could find out, but I know he played against people like Luther Kelly, and I think he would have played maybe before Stuart. Stuart might have been just coming in when he was in the twilight.
Yeah, maybe he played with Rafi Wallace then.
Yes, Rafi Wallace and Mickey Mills and those guys.
Mickey Mills is a little bit after, maybe a little bit written after Rafi Wallace then. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But going back to the West Indies cricket, the academies. Well, you mentioned local cricket, but do we really have academies in the West Indies? And if we do, how strong are they? When you're going to look at the Australians and Englands, etc., from the time the parents are paying to them to get general coaches, specific coaches at very young ages, 4, 5, etc., and they reach up and they enter the academies. We've had a high performance center down in the Windwards and things like that, but do we really get value for money for what we have?
And that's the big question.
What are your thoughts on that, caller?
Yeah, well, to me, we gotta. Well, we in the local region there, St. Kitts and Nevis. We're talking about what they call that the orange economy. Is that sports and entertainment?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, therefore, me, I believe, man, we might not want to talk about the politics or the politics of the game, but regionally, as a Caribbean structure, there's so much politics going on in the Caribbean, and so much money that I've seen being mismanaged and mishandled and misused and stuff like that, mismanaged especially. Yeah.
And the caller before you
The
spoke to that.
politician, yeah, the politicians of the day, man, if they would probably see that sports and entertainment too, but we're talking about sports tonight, can really drive the economies
Yeah,
locally in each island or whatever. They will
Right.
pump the money they will invest the money into that sport.
that's so
That's
true.
our past. That's our past. That's our pastime.
Yeah, I always
That's
believe
our
that.
tradition.
Yeah.
You know, cricket is our pastime. Is our tradition, right? We got our priorities mixed up. We see the youngsters gravitate into basketball, but we're not seeing. We're talking about that they have cricket scouts now. We're not seeing the NBA scouts coming down to the region. You know, if we're not seeing that happening, there is no NBA scouts coming to the region. So where and how you think you're gonna get out to get a playing basketball? We complained back in the days that we wasn't getting the picks, right? And I have a theory where when West Indies started faltering, the smaller islands should have paid attention, and they should have get their youngsters ready and equipped and put forth their talent. We got the raw talent in St. Kitts and Nevis. So therefore, when West Indies start failing, right, they would have had no other choice but to come down to the small islands and pick us to save the team. So then therefore, if we had our priorities right, and put those youngsters, like support them, give them, you know, whatever support they need, and drive them, encourage them. I'm telling you right now, West Indies would have probably had like 6, 7 guys from the small islands right now.
But caller, we've always known over the years that the West Indies is full of raw talent. Back then, when we were dominating in the 80s and the 90s, that was raw talent. While we were relying on raw talent, I think we failed to recognize that the sporting world, was moving in a different direction. The incorporation of technology. And we came on board late with that. And by the time we came on, other countries were well ahead.
Right.
I remember watching a game, West Indies against England, I think it might have been. Ambrose bowled his first ball in the over. It dropped, and they didn't show you this live. This was after the fact. They were analyzing how he bowls. They showed you he bowled one ball, it dropped on this spot. The second ball dropped on this spot. And all the other 4 balls dropped between those 2. So that was to line up on the pitch where he's going to deliver. And all the 4 balls stuck between there. That was technology. And they're bringing it not only for that, the body, how much pressure the body could take and what conditions and all of that.
Yeah, but if I might add, they also use those technologies to study, other players and the game
opposition.
to develop their game as well.
Exactly.
Because they were more advanced with those technologies. So you're absolutely right. Because if I have the technology to pinpoint where this ball is going to deliver, let's say 5 or 6 of his ball, is like a pattern. So now, once you go back and you study that, with pre-game tapes and stuff forth, because you have to study, and then you're like, okay, this is where he's more dangerous in, or this is where, I'll expect to see a lot more deliveries because based upon, our analysis, he delivers more delivery on this side, then I'll start to, wait for those, balls because they will come.
They will come. They show you the red balls.
Exactly.
The balls he got wickets.
Right.
where he bowled them,
Yeah.
how he bowled them,
And, you,
etc.
and not to cut you off, but Michael Holden made mention. He said when the IPL league kicked off, he said this will be the death of West Indies cricket. And he is absolutely right, because the reason is the IPL very smart, you know. They use that as a database to study these players, you know, so that they can be further on top in their game.
When they go to play against
Of course.
Uh-huh.
Of course.
And but the thing is, I think they are like German said, a multiplicity of factors. The salaries, whether we like it or not, thank you cannot pay the bills in the bank. You're the best bowler in the world, cannot pay the bills in the bank. Right now we have a situation in Jamaica track and field where quite a few of their top athletes are changing nationality to Turkey, because one Turkey is giving them about 500 US just to become a Turkish citizen.
Hope it's not the Claxton twins.
Two,
I hope the Claxton twins are not a part of that.
not yet.
Because they're the fastest right
Two,
now.
they're going to say, well, hey, every gold medal you win, you're going to get 300,000 US. Every silver medal, 200 or whatever the figure is.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Plus three, we're going to give you a monthly stipend of 5,000 US or whatever the case is. Now tell me,
That's definitely going to boost me for sure.
athlete could really...
Exactly.
And the last person to go was the long jumper. I can't remember his name. And that was in the news like a couple days ago. And he said, hey, I love my country. I'm a patriot. However, that cannot pay the bills. I can't take that to the bank.
Right, that's true.
I need to look after my children and myself. And like the caller called in and said the life of a cricketer is about 10 years, really, 15 years if you're good.
Yeah, 10 to 15 years.
And after that, what happens?
Yeah.
Some person...
Yeah, so Bif, can I interject something,
Yes,
please,
sir.
man?
Sure.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, the Jamaican athletes moving over to Turkey, right? I remember I was listening to, I think that was Freedom Radio a day, right? And there's a local guy from St. Paul's, a footballer. And I was listening to that radio station, Freedom, and I've heard that, I don't know if you know who I'm talking about, is a footballer from St. Paul's. He was offered 10,000 US dollars per month, I think, to go and play in a Qatar league, right? And he must have had some type of personal situation where he didn't go. But I noticed they had a coach. He had a personal coach that was probably in the studio talking that day. I don't know if you can do some research and find out.
I'm wondering if it's Freeman. Keith Freeman.
It must have been. I can't
Yeah.
remember the guy's name.
I
Right?
heard something
But-
of that, yes.
As a personal coach, man, I don't know what the situation could have been that could have, swayed him. And I don't know if that coach himself swayed this player to stay locally and stay home. And in my opinion, I didn't really like what I was hearing. You know what I mean? We all have personal situations, yes, but sometimes personal situations can be worked out as well. And I'm wondering if he had a specific situation at that specific time. I mean, over time, could he have gotten out of that personal situation and still made an effort to get into that league overseas? You know what I mean?
Yes.
We can bring money back to the federation.
Well, I guess he chose patriotism and family over that because he would have been away from his country. Well, that touches a point, the mentality, the approach. How well are the West Indies Test players developed mentally, the mental strength, the mental toughness. And, for example, you tie them down with a few balls and then they want to beat their way out.
Yep.
They stay in power, match awareness. And somebody mentioned it, the situation of the match. What does the match need me to do for my team to win?
Right.
Do I need to just sit there and pattern the bad balls are going to come? And we saw a bit of it coming through successfully. And otherwise, in the recent under-19, West Indies under-19 tournament we have in here. And we have to start to inculcate these things in the players. not when they're 19 and 17 and 18. And like the caller said,
Right.
we got to bend the tree while it's young. So we got to do that at 4 and 5 years old.
Right.
Start to introduce them to the techniques and the proper thing. And this is where grassroots come in. I don't know, I believe 100% in grassroots. And the grassroots experts tell you that between its grassroots, it's all about 5 and 12,
Right.
and it's all about fun.
Of course.
I have a different view to that. My view, you got to introduce some competition in there. Develop that competitive mind in the youngsters. And I think you were the one to mention, ranking, analysis.
Yeah.
How they analyze.
Yep.
Conflict management, that's another thing.
Yep.
But you have to start training these youngsters, in my view. So you have the techniques.
Yep.
How they defensively
Yep.
play ball and textbook style and all of that. How you bowl.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you got to put them in the nets and say, listen, for 1 hour or 2 hours straight, this is what I want you to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to try and hit out no balls. You know, you got to install that patience, especially when it comes to test cricket. That's the most important thing, you know, when it comes to test cricket. The T20 and the one day, okay, you have the chance. That's your time to hit balls once, because there's not much
But
balls.
you still must have intelligence.
You still have exactly the intelligence to know when is a bad ball, to hit it, and when, you know, not to hit it, and so
You're there
forth.
still, caller?
Yeah, I'm still here. So we're talking about discipline. That's what I want to interject.
Yes, sir.
Discipline and our local players. I like to keep on the local scene. Our local
Bearing
players.
in mind we're
man,
discussing
we got
West
to-
Indies cricket, huh? We're going to come to
Yeah,
the
okay.
local cricket. And yes, there's a link to West Indies cricket from the local scene.
Okay, so we rise up from the local level and boost up to the higher level. But no matter which level it is, we need to work on that discipline. Like you just mentioned, there are some players that stay in the crease and they would only dispatch the bad balls. You know, that is some serious discipline right there.
Exactly, and that's what we need. That's what we need for the test
That's
format.
that's what we need. We need that type of stuff because the 4-day match. I know it was a 5-day match when I was younger back then, but the test matches.
The test match
need
is
that
5 days,
discipline.
right? Test match is 5 days, right?
Yeah, we gotta stay at. We gotta develop that discipline
Yeah.
to stay at the crease.
Those are the players we need for
And-
test cricket.
Yeah, and me to the youngster Michael Louis, that's what I want him to work on. And I'll leave it there for now, man. And you guys have a good night.
Appreciate
All right,
that.
thank
Thank
you.
you very much for calling. Thanks for listening as well. And
Yeah, thanks. You're welcome. Have a good night.
okay, in terms of technique, I saw a bowler from Barbados or Jamaica, youngster.
Yeah.
A pace bowler, opening bowler. He's shot already. Normally, when pace bowlers deliver, they use, if you're right-hander, for example, you use the left arm.
Right, right,
And I remember some look at the inside of the palm to see the target where they're going to go. Some look at the outside of the palm.
right.
So the palm has to be basically parallel to the
Yeah,
ground.
it's a guide, yeah.
With this youngster, he's bowling, his hand is by his side across the body. So he delivers like that. And he's quick. He has a quick arm action. Very short
Wow.
for a pace bowler.
Okay.
But he bowls some good control as well. So
And that's presently right now.
right now in the under 19
in the
that
under
happened.
19.
Dawes, I think Dawes is the leg spinner from Jamaica.
Okay.
I can't remember.
So he's definitely the one to look at for the future.
Yes, I think so. So the question is, in terms of technique, with that technique, somebody had to have seen him at the under 5, under 7, under 9, or 11. So why weren't any efforts made to correct that? If he changes that technique to the pointing arm, would he be more devastating than he is?
It's easy to say correct because, yeah, the technique might look kind of off, you know, to us, but if he's getting results based upon it, because look, the Pakistan player, it was Shai Makhtar. He had this it was the guy from Sri Lanka, Jovendes. He comes from the side, you know, and people would think, well, his deliveries is not coming over,
Right over.
but his action, he brings his arms across. You know, like if he's coming to hug you, you know, but that's how he delivers.
Fidel Edwards.
Right.
But we have a call. Let's go straight to the line. Good evening, caller. Thank you for calling on the ball here at WINN FM 98.9.
Yeah, hello, Biff. One more thing, man, I wanted to mention, right? You asked the question about the youngster, the 18-year-old.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say directly from myself, my opinion would be I would have played him in that last match and
Okay.
give him the exposure.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last thing I wanted to say.
Okay,
Thanks to you guys, man. You guys have a good night.
No problem.
Thank you very much
Yeah.
for listening and calling, youngster.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think Joel should have played.
Well, everybody always say, right, once you done lose a series, it's always fitting to try the persons who were there that did not get a chance to play. You already lost a
Yeah,
series.
they might shine.
You know what I'm saying? They might shine because you bring in Casey Carty and he scored, what, 1 or 2? You know, I mean, yes, he's the hot hand for when it comes to, because he did well in the one-day
the 50
series and
overs,
so,
yeah.
the 50 overs. But so they think, well, you know, he was going to get on a boost. But my thing is, you have a youngster there. You know what I'm saying? Give the man a chance to shine to see what he can do.
Well, before all of these tournaments and even that, I always said if I had to be a coach of a team, ranking, and I'm going for especially a tournament, all my players are going to play. Yes, you have a core players,
Right, right.
but I'm going to whet your appetite.
Yeah.
To give you a game. In football, it might be the last 15 minutes of a game. I don't know.
Right.
Cricket, you'll have to get a whole
You'll
game.
have to get a whole game,
Uh-huh.
right.
But I'll do that because I believe that inspires not only the youngster who will be getting
Yeah.
the game, but other youngsters,
Yeah,
his
but
colleagues.
the thing is, you got to know when to do it because
That's important.
right, because I mean, if it's a 5-game series and you're up the first 2, well then I would chance you in the third game. You know, because you never know, you might be the one to
Exactly.
shine. You know, and that because we would still have 2 other games to try and win 1 or 2 of those other 2 to win the series. So, you know, I would probably give you a chance there because if you're going to say, all right, let's wait until we win the series before you get a game, you know, you can win the first 2, then you lose the next 2, and you definitely would not want to put a freshman, as we would call them, you know, in the final game. You would want your experience and your best, you know, for the final game. So in a position like that, I see what you're saying when it comes to cricket. If you're up in the first 2 out of a best out of a 5, well, of course, play him the third one because football, you can easily get a 5 minutes or 10 minutes on that field. You know, that's the good thing about football. You know, everybody can play.
Yeah.
Everybody will get a chance to play. Basketball is pretty much the same
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. Yeah,
because
you're
you
continuous
up
subs.
20 or 30 points, you know, the whole bench comes on.
Yes.
So that's the whole thing about cricket is like, I don't know how, there's probably a sport where you cannot sub. You can only sub to replace an injured fielder, you know, but not a batsman and so forth.
Well, the Indians, they have incorporated something like that. They call it a super sub. So you, as a batsman, you bat, but when it comes to fielding, they'll sub you with a bowler
For the bowler.
or a fielder, as the case may be.
That's new? They just in?
At the IPL, yeah, that started
Wow.
it. Was it last year, I think?
Well,
But it's relatively new.
Yeah.
They call it the super sub. And it looks like a lot of
I'm
people.
sure ICC is going to look into that, you know,
yeah.
deeply because that's something could work.
Well, I mentioned that because of what you said with the
Yeah,
sub.
yeah.
But before we finalize and we wrap up, and this really is a part 1 of a program because no one show could fix this. I came across a
true.
letter in the Antigua newsroom. Sack Sammy now. That is the caption. Sack Sammy now. And it starts out, sack Sammy now. What else should we do? The captaincy shake-up has come back to haunt him and Dr. Shallow. Dr. Shallow isn't playing on the field. His resignation won't help. And between me and you, I am not so sure I was happy about Dr. Shallow saying that people are only picking on Sammy because he was from a small country.
No.
I don't think those were appropriate words for him.
Yeah.
Him to say.
And I
He is
think
the coach. He's the man in the hot
yeah.
seat.
And I think to coach all 3 formats.
Yeah, I don't believe in that at all. I don't.
That's a lot of
believe in
pressure,
that.
man. He shouldn't have even accepted
consider
that.
that, exactly.
Yeah. That's a lot of pressure.
The T20 international whitewash is unforgivable. We were the third best ranked team in the world when Roveman Powell was removed. Now we are sixth. And that is
It's
another
true.
point of
It's true.
contention.
Yeah.
Moving Roveman Powell at the point we did when he was taking the team upwards. What has changed between then and now? And it's the captaincy. Shea Hope, our best white ball batter, does not make him a great captain. And we know that. A great player doesn't make a great captain.
Right.
Besides, he's opening the batting, wicket keeping, and setting the field. The guy only has two hands. It's too much for him. That two hands thing, I'm not certain, but he won't back down from the challenge, but the guy isn't a robot. Are any of the players listening to Ravi Rampal, who is the bowling coach? I agree with him. Why not go for the Yorker while the ball is new or during the power play? The team analysis, Avinash Sitaram, what is he watching on those fancy computers? we touched on the analysis and the technology.
Right, is it?
In the 30-20I, by the 13th over, the run rate was 10 and over. Let's give Tim David crab and dumplings in the slot on off stumps. And when he got to 50, let's give him some more. He seemed to love it. Darren Sammy, of all people, who have told Dwayne Bravo Jr. his captaincy to bowl full and wide, set the fine leg very straight. He'd rather concede a wide than a six.
Exactly.
Notwithstanding, when you bowl a wide, you still go bowl another
Exactly.
ball, which the six might come from.
And also in that 30-20, because you had two spinners getting a lot of licks, and you take them off to put on a third one, chase. Like, seriously?
Well, and I can't understand. Forgive me for cutting here. In the test, our bowlers were doing wonderful.
Come on. Excellent.
The batters were the problem.
Excellent.
But
bowlers,
in the T20 now,
okay, the batters
show
up, but the bowlers
gone.
Bowlers gone.
Something is wrong. I can't understand that at all.
So maybe we need to put the bowlers from the tests, with the T20 batters.
Exactly.
And that probably might give us a balanced team, it seems so, because there's no other way I could look at it.
Get out of the over at a runner ball at least. Okay, 6 runs and over. It's a batting-friendly track. Fine, bowl the ball slower. Bowl the slow ball. Once they connect at full pace, it will travel on a smaller ground. For God's sake, Darren Sammy is running down the stairs with instructions every minute to the players on the boundary. He still thinks he's captain. That's why he didn't want Roveman Powell at the helm, because he can't control Roveman Powell. And from what I'm understanding is, Roveman Powell will say, hey, you're the coach.
Right.
Step there, I'm the captain.
I'm the man on the
Let
field,
me
yeah.
deal with it on the field.
Yeah.
I suspect Sammy is micromanaging the team, hovering over every session and every over. We've got to sack him. The captain, the excuse can't be Australia is a great team. He needs to stop living in the past and let the team breathe. And it comes from Kendall Karan, Chaguanas, which is in Trinidad. And Tobago. And that's interesting. But I'm in a cricket chat, and obviously there's that discussion. My argument is you selected Sammy. And yes, this is just his first all coach.
Right.
Not because he made a 27.
Yeah.
Second lowest test score in the world ever.
Right.
New Zealand is at 26.
Yeah, there's years.
1955 or something.
Exactly.
And but I still feel that we need to give Sammy a chance still. Give him a decent one.
Well, for me, I think the one day and the T20 format, let him stay there. But for the tests,
it's one or the other.
It's one or the other. Something gotta give. You gotta. Yeah, you can. All the formats is too stressful. And I agree with the person there. It seems like he is micromanaging the team, because I witnessed him for real at the T20 especially, coming steady and trying to give instruction. I'm like, why is he doing that? Because the captain is there. Shai Hope is the captain. He's the man supposed to be able to control the affairs. That's why you have the tapes where you watch back the tapes and you analyze. You go over that. Coaches have to point those out and say, okay, fellas, this is what we did wrong in the last game. Bam, bam, bam. So the captain now has to remember, all right, this is the field placement we placed for the batsman. The last time, okay, it didn't work. Let's change it up and that's it. You have your game plan. But if you're going to keep coming steady after a man hit a 4 or 6, And you know,
Something wrong.
something wrong there.
These guys, if he's got to be doing that, they shouldn't be West Indies
Yeah,
captain.
yeah, exactly.
You
It don't
give
make
a
no
guy
sense.
a job, let him do the job.
It don't
Don't
make
be
no
running
sense.
down on the field every minute.
Yeah.
Because that's not going to
That-
inspire
that
any
it's not-
confidence
nope,
in him
Nope.
as the captain.
Yep.
And how can he inspire confidence in the team if the coach ain't got a confidence in him?
Exactly.
I agree with it, this person. I don't know about, like I said, man, to show about the resignation part.
Yeah, no,
but
I don't
cool
think.
out.
I don't think he should think for all the formats.
Yeah.
You know, at least let him stick to the one day or something.
I can't go back here. It was just raining sixes in the park.
Oh my God!
These
Jeez.
bowlers just putting the ball full on the bat.
Wow.
Full.
Imagine 200. We made 200 in the game 3 and 4, and okay, we didn't win one out of those two. I mean, we should have win at least one out of those two.
Yeah,
especially the
It's
first
the
one.
first one, yeah.
The game 3, the third game, we should have won that game.
boy.
You know, it was crazy, man. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know ranking, boy, but
People are always saying, "Oh, it's a small ground." No. Forget small. There's smaller grounds in the world than St. Kitts ground, than Warner Park. There's lots of more smaller
between
grounds.
me, there's a problem with our sportsmen and sportswomen generally. Height.
Yeah.
We don't have. You see the height of them Australians?
Oh boy, them guys is some
The
giants.
tall and the
Yeah.
strapped with bodies. So when they
I
hit
saw,
the
I
ball
saw,
for six, it's
I
they
saw
gone.
them. I saw them for real. I was like, when I watch them, I was like, wait, we accustomed to see bowlers in the West Indies being that tall.
Yeah, but
you know,
not
but
necessarily in batters.
not in
These
batters.
guys big enough.
Yeah, so it's like
and
they
strong.
and strong.
I want them hold the
They
batter,
stand
look
up
like
and
a toothpick in
deliver.
the hand.
Stand up
Yes.
and deliver.
And it's smooth and easy.
It's crazy.
Coming off the middle of
and
the
I guess that's why they're number one, in the world right now. So, because they just won the Test World. No, South Africa.
won that, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it is what it is.
And
you
the
know
World
what I'm
Cup coming up next year.
saying? Well, West. I don't think West Indies. I think they have to play.
No, I think they're in. There are 15 teams. Canada in it, the USA in it. I think I saw the list.
But no, I think they have to. They have to play to try and secure
Okay, I
the
gotta
spot.
confirm that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Rankin, your final words before we wrap up.
Well, I just want to thank you for giving me the time to come here to speak on not just West Indies cricket, which I know persons are a bit disappointed. But I mean, at the end of the day, I can't see myself cheering for no other team, no other country. You know what I'm saying? It won't be that much fun. I mean, so I gotta take the loss, like along with the team, like everybody else, and I just gotta hope for the best. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I don't really follow West Indies cricket anymore like that because of the performances, in the past. CPL have more excitement than West Indies cricket. Everybody in the park, they will tell you, boy, when CPL starting, we're looking forward to CPL. So, and it is what it is. But West Indies, they have a lot to do, and I hope, persons listening from St. Kitts Association, Cricket Association, they're listening, they can send these messages back from the callers and the program that we had, to the West Indies Cricket Board and see how some of these plans and things that we have discussed, can assist in benefiting West Indies. All right, because fundamentals, we got to go back, as some of the callers said, grassroots, get these these schools back in it for tournaments and so forth, and we'll get there. And most importantly, give the smaller islands, a fair chance. You know what I'm saying, to let the players get selected, because that is going to motivate younger players as well.
Exactly. Go, if you're going by stats, what they call it, the
Right.
criteria.
Right.
Let us know the criteria. Let us know why, if you're failing, we're willing to give you 10 innings before we start consider replacing you.
And give the player an answer as to what you did wrong, because many times they don't get no explanation as to why I didn't get selected. And you're right. Let them know the reason why. So if it's something they know that they can change or adjust, they'll do it.
And it's all about improvement,
Yeah.
betterment.
Yeah.
And one person I know who really does that is Mr. Samuel Spencer from Antigua. He is the West Indies talent ID scout.
Okay, right.
And he's also a Leeward Islands selector,
Okay.
head of the Leeward Islands Selecting Committee. And if he didn't select you this time, he'll come and say, well, look, Rankin, we didn't select you because of these 5 things
there
and
you
these
go.
7 things.
There you
so,
go.
you know, you'll have to work on these things.
There you go.
So you don't have to wonder by them and ain't like me or anything like that.
Right.
These are the things you may not agree with some, or you may not agree with
Right,
all, but
right.
at least when it comes to the criteria, others were better than you in step.
You see, that's it. That's it.
Exactly. So it help you to develop.
Right.
And but hey, we got
All
a
right.
lot of work to do.
Yeah, man.
Grassroots, the grassroots cricket national leagues, the structure administration,
Yeah, club cricket and all of that, right?
CARICOM, they are getting serious. They've just had a meeting there where I think Dr. Drew, he might be heavily involved. Is he part of the cricket committee? Was he being installed as the cricket committee for CARICOM? I saw something. I'll have to get back to it. But national leagues, and there's one key thing before we go. I am of the view, I don't know if it is done. The West Indies, they know what they want their players, what levels of fitness they want their players to be,
Right.
the technical skills. So as far as I'm concerned, they should be telling all the territorial boards, Leewards, Windwards, Jamaica, this is the program we want your cricketers to undergo.
Right.
This is how we want you to develop. And for Jamaica and Trinidad, it's sort of easy because it's one landmass.
Yeah.
So they send it out to the south and whatever parish or wherever they do it, their structure. But when it comes to Leewards and Windwards, they send it out now to Dominica, Grenada, etc., St. Kitts, Nevis, Anguilla. So all the countries are operating on the same programs, the
Right.
development programs, training program, nutrition.
Right. Okay.
And so then now the St. Kitts Association, I'm thinking, they give the local clubs, they give the Sandy Points and the Molyneux Cairns and the Young Guns or whoever or whatever, this is the program we want your coaches to work with these players.
Right.
Because really the man in Sandy Point, his aspiration is to play for West Indies team.
Right.
But he got to go through Sandy Point,
Right.
St. Kitts, Leewards,
Leewards, yep.
and then West Indies.
Yep.
So I am of the view that once all these islands are doing the same programs, same skills, same everything, same fitness, same nutrition, when they come to the West Indies, they're supposed to be at a certain level. Because you're only supposed to be, I'm dealing with strategies and tactics and them kind of thing, you know.
Because your game supposed to already
You're
develop.
supposed to know how to hold
Right,
a bat
right,
and
right.
how to play a ball and how to
Yep.
bowl and them. No, that's supposed to happen down in the grassroots and,
Right,
and not even
right.
at the St. Kitts level.
Right. That's true.
And
That's true.
Not even
Your
at the
technique's
club,
supposed to already done there, man.
Exactly. By the way, Rankin, I do thank you for being with us
No
here
problem,
on
man.
the
No
ball.
problem.
It's the first time. It's not going to be the last
Oh,
time.
definitely no.
Because
Definitely.
this program in itself, I know it would not have been
Yeah. I
completed.
gotta say good night to Montezuma.
Yes.
Yeah, from Molyneux, man. He's listening. You know?
Montezuma, please forgive me. I was to mention that your league has started. You have had some
And that's
programs.
a very passionate man, especially when
Yes.
it comes to Molyneux. Those cricket there, I'm telling you.
Yes, the James Harris
The
T20
James
League.
Harris T20 League, yeah.
And games coming up on August the 3rd, which is this Sunday.
There's a long weekend too, right? right.
Jaguars versus Young Guns at 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
LA versus Front Street Limers at 5 p.m. And I know on the 20th, Front Street Limers defeated Sadler's Master Blasters. Master Blasters made 22. Front Street Limers 73. Young Guns completely took advantage. Police should go look for Young Guns. Young Guns 137 from their 20 overs. And they bowl out Tabernacle for 38. Nobody getting... what was the highest? Was the top scorer?
What's the top scorer?
Extras 16. Nobody has been. No, I think the highest score might have been 4.
So wait, nobody went 6 or 5
No,
or
1 and not and not and 2 and 4 and so.
so the extras, so basically subtracting the extras, they would have gotten bowled out for less.
Yeah, 16 from that lever. 18. They get bowled out for
Oh,
18,
my God.
which is worse than the 27.
Of course. But folks, all seriousness, I think person should go up to Molyneux, right? It's Molyneux, right?
Mansion.
Yes, Mansion. I think they should go up to Mansion and, witness and enjoy, the James Harris T20 League. I've had the privilege of experiencing it, You know what I'm saying? I tell Monty one of these times I'm going to come play for one of these teams, you know, because I do miss cricket. So, but yeah, persons, you should go out and support, you know, that league right up there in Mansion. It's an awesome league, a nice way to take your family out and enjoy yourself as well.
Definitely, yes. Get out to the Bastille, go to the
Yeah,
rural
man,
east,
country.
and it is all in honor of James Harris.
Yes, yes.
Because we don't like to give away flowers when we're alive.
Yeah.
So go on out and support the James Harris T20 League, and actually have a wonderful day, because everybody not going to Nevis.
That's true.
I was planning to go, but I don't think.
Yeah, I might actually go Mansion for real, because I'm not going Nevis, so you know, I need to get out of you know, St. Peter's and take a stroll in the country. It's a long time I haven't gone that side, you know, up Mansion area there. So Monty, you might probably see me, brother. You know, I'll see if I could drag Troy with me and we come up there.
Definitely, and we drink some coconut
Of
water
course,
juice.
of course.
Rankin, I'm here. I'm seeing some not so good news here. I'm seeing that there was a homicide in Nevis tonight in the camps area. I'm seeing a name, but I'm not going to call it.
Yeah, don't.
And the person apparently is from Market Street here in St. Kitts, but was living in Nevis. This is not a good thing anytime, especially now when we're getting into the heart of the Culturama.
Exactly, especially this weekend.
This is the weekend.
Yeah.
I say condolences on behalf of WINN FM 98.9 management, staff, board of directors, to the family of the deceased. And guys, yes, Monty Zuma, he sent me a WhatsApp. Yes, he's listening. Thank you very much, Monty Zuma. Now he would have called me and abused me. But guys, people come out to have fun. We're going to have visitors, returning nationals who will come home.
Because last year was crazy, you know. I mean, the police, they were checking, because we were in Nevis last year. Police were checking you at the pier before you go on the boat, and it was such a long delay. But, you know, persons were upset with the police. But you can't be upset with them. At that last year, it was crazy in terms of the crime, you know, escalating. This year, I'm not gonna lie, it's been respectably good, you know, but we hoping that it can stay that way. It's unfortunate this incident happened, and we do send our condolences for real. I do that. But this weekend, come on, folks, it's a long weekend heading to Nevis. Let everybody go enjoy themselves, you know, incident free. Don't let these things got to be a bother, man.
I was to go over to judge the steel band competition last night, but I had an intimate affair with the bathroom.
On that note, that's it for us. Well, for me.
Yes, Rankin, thanks a lot again.
Definitely.
And thanks to the listeners, thanks to the callers especially. And I keep remembering our late colleague, Eustace Philip Hendrickson, an ardent follower of the program. Always called, always online, always text me. Some of the time, he texts me from the time I hear in the studio until I reach home to Sandy Point.
Wow.
While on the bus, we're talking. So that's nearly half an hour. Waiting down the bus terminal until the bus come, and me and Eustace talking. I'm going to miss that. And the condolences to him and his family. And again, please cut back on your speeding. Observe the speed limits. Don't drink and drive.
Definitely.
Be aware of the area around you, in your vehicle, the side of the road, people talking, balls running out, children running behind them. Please be vigilant, guys. Please. And when you drive, we need you to arrive alive.
That's right.
And that's not my saying. That's a little phrase from...
Trust me, it don't matter who say it. It's a really good saying.
Once you're driving, we want you to arrive alive.
That's right.
So please cut back on it. Wear your seatbelts. And, hey, while you're in Nevis, don't drink and drive. Don't drive and drink. Please, the life you save or the life you take may very well be your own and or your loved one or loved ones.
Right.
So thank you for listening. And again, we invite you to come on board as any sponsor in part, whether you want to sponsor the first Tuesday, half an hour, whatever you want to do, we will be able to work with you. Give us a call, 466-9586, or you can WhatsApp me, 668-2055. It was a pleasure. And boy, I nearly forget Rankin. No program next week, God spare.
Holiday.
I might go Nevis good job. Especially if I come up with a chick from Nevis or something.
Yes.
No program next week.
Yeah.
Next week, Tuesday. And we apologize for that.
Yeah.
Got to go drink some coconut water or some milk or juice. I played dominoes at draft. But anyway, it was
we got to thank Jermaine for taking some time out.
It was a wonderful program. We thank Jermaine for working with us online. We apologize for John Maynard who couldn't make it. And thank you, of course, DJ Rankin.
No problem, man.
And this is the first of how many parts, I don't know. Because discussing West Indies cricket, that's perhaps a lifelong thing. Because there's so many areas. And I don't know if Dr. Shallow was listening, it would have been nice. And we had him on the program once ago, last year, I think it was. And we're going to try to get him again to discuss that. Because cricket is all about us, eh?
Yeah.
It's not about them. It's me and you and everybody. I know some persons don't back West Indies. Curtis Cook, for example, he backs England, and he lets everybody know about that. I'm going to tell you a secret. Actually, when I was making the calls, I invited him forgetting that he backed England because I know he's passionate about the cricket.
Yeah.
But I forget he backed England, and he reminded me. So we'll have him in here one of these days, though.
Wow.
And thanks again, Rankin. Thanks again, Jermaine. And thanks to my producer, Ras P, out of the Tough House Sound.
Rastaman.
Yes, thank you very much, ladies. I'm Troy Bif Mills, and as I leave, always be positive in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. Thanks for listening. Have a good night. No show next week, Tuesday. Thank you, my boy.
No problem.
That was a wonderful. Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune into On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Bif Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Bif Mills on WINN FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on